Well, this is just a nice, interesting little point. This brush here, you heard me talking and talking and talking about my wonderful Winsor Newton. Size 7. Finest red sable. I don't think we can be able to read it, not with the light like this. Anyway, finest red sable. Such a lovely brush, so beautifully balanced. These are made, these have a royal warrant from the Crown in England. This was designed and made for Queen Victoria, the Series 7 sable brush from Winsor Newton. And they made her paintbrushes, and they still have the royal warrant to make them today. That's why they're so wonderful. They're certainly worth all the praise I've given them. Oh, they're so nice to paint with. But yeah, Queen Victoria's paintbrushes. But really, so beautifully balanced. I guess a little bit of watercolor history. Watercolor was considered at Queen Victoria's time a very minor medium. This was a time when tourism, for fun, people were traveling for fun in Victoria's time, and one way to record your travels was to do drawings or paintings. Well, a pen and ink is okay, but ink spills. Watercolor turned out to be a perfect portable medium for doing color sketches, and that's where it was. It was just for sketching. Well, that was what, Queen Victoria was coming to the end of her reign in 1900 there, like at the turn of the century. And she was on the throne for a very long time. Anyway, so those watercolors at that time were a new sketching medium, and people weren't really sure if they would last long enough to be, a major medium. Well, that was 150 years ago, or 160 years ago, and the watercolors are holding up fine. And our paper, the fine paper made in France, is great to paint on. And if you're using these good materials, yeah, they're going to last over 150 years. So it became a respectable medium around 1950 or so, I think. Well, maybe a little earlier than that, probably with the New Deal artists in the 1930s, because there was a lot of traveling around and recording and painting as well at that time. But the paintings done at Queen Victoria's time had lasted respectably well by then, and so it became a more respectable medium. And the same is true for acrylics. When they were first introduced, nobody was sure how long they would last, so they were used basically for illustration, something that you do and then you just put it away because you don't know, how good the material is, but you can preserve it by keeping it out of the sun and air and all of that kind of stuff. So acrylics were questionable, and when we first started working with them, we generally did a kind of a black and white illustration using a lot of transparent medium with the black and then the white opaque. And then from that, with the black and white, you could also then take and glaze colors over that. And then little by little, acrylics have come to really mimic other kinds of paints quite nicely. And they last, unfortunately, forever. Sorry, I was just thinking about the man in the white suit, this one monofilament that was going to last forever. That was the problem with that suit. It would never wear out. And so why would we want to develop a fabric that would never wear out? We would never sell more clothes. So that might be a little bit of what's behind this glut of clothing. We're using a lot of fabrics that are not natural fabrics, and they're never going to wear out. We should make it into rope. Okay, so I got a nice little rant in. I'm getting ready for the Shockboxx Zoom meet tonight, and I just wiped a whole bunch of stuff off of my phone so I'd have more room for videos. I bought myself a nice little mini memory card, larger than any of the others I had, and I misplaced it somewhere. Yeah, you know how big those are. Okay, it'll turn up though. All right, so I'm going to get ready on this. I'm still fiddling around over here, but I think I've got something, and I've got to just sit down and do it. So here we go, heading into the home stretch, and we are going in at 5:53, let's say just about 6 minutes in here, in case I want to divide this up for ranting and painting. No, I don't want to divide it up for ranting or painting. Okay, I might want to move to a little smaller brush. All right. Yes, Van Dyke Brown. I cut this one apart, and I'm just kind of using this like a pan watercolor for now. All right, I'm going to go back to that red here. And maybe I should go a little smaller. What have I got here? I'm so glad I had a chance to live in Taiwan and shop in Hong Kong too, and live in mainland China for a while, and collect these fabulous Chinese brushes, you know, sizes. So it's okay. Is this one going to do what I need to do? Let's see. Going to? I watched some of these videos last night while I was painting. It's like, no wonder it takes me so long to do anything. I'm really slow. I sped them up to double speed, and they look like normal. I feel like I should say something about that. Double speed. I mean, I wasn't sure. I went up to like 1.5 times, and I went, oh, I guess it's not working. Or like, yeah. No, like half time, 0.5 faster. 0.5 slower, or whatever it is, and then 1.5. and a 2. Slow it down to 2. Now, am I following the same face that I had before and getting it all too low? Okay. No, I got it, I got it. Yeah, it's getting there. Yeah. Yes. It's a little crooked, but it's okay. I noticed also in the film, you can't always tell when I'm doing this. I'm not doing chicken scratching. I've got a bunch of water here, and I'm pushing around my pigment in the water. It's nice. So you see what I'm talking about, how it just builds up? Well, it builds up. It's nice, isn't it? I think I'm going to have to smooch a little here. I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm mixing this. I think it's blue manganese. I'm really not sure. I'm mixing that with my Van Dyke brown to get a black. Now this is kind of splotchy looking from doing this noodling around. I'm using a brush too small for the area, but I've just put in a darker batch of it. Not batch, but more liquid from the pan where I have it. No, sometimes it's nice to splooch it around a little. These words like splooch it around a little, those words, kind of words that come out, vocabulary that's on the right side of your brain. Scooch, smooth, spread. I'm doing this because I put that red down there. I'm just kind of indicating because this is the realistic one. Right? Oh, maybe I should put a little bit of that there too. Yeah. Get the same red up in there to provide unity along here. I think that'll be lighter when it dries. There. Well, there's a beginning. I think it wasn't ever going to be right, but it's good. It's looking good now. Yeah. I'm glad I did that abstract one in between. It makes it a lot easier. Look, let's look like Sam Hugan right now. Look at that. Big forehead and that pretty mouth. That was sweet eyes. Oh. And then I figured this out on the other one. I figured out a little brush stroke that pretty well indicates a jade plant. Schematic for that. And I'm going to move this eye over a little. Maybe this one over. And then, yeah, that's right. And then we'll be looking right. And again, notice there's not any white there for it, but I don't think I'm going to have to draw it in this time. And let's see. Maybe a little bit more here. turquoise back in there, a couple of bits of turquoise. Yeah, my turquoise. Oh, it looks really nice. Okay. And I'm going to weight this down. 30 minutes. Doesn't really look like 30 minutes worth of work, but yeah, I think I want to get that face to develop more before I do any more developing over in here. So it's like changing a tire, you know, when you do one screw over here, and then one screw over there, and then one screw over there, and one screw over there, and one screw over there, and one screw over there. Oh, right? So it's sort of the same. Just keep balancing. Don't just keep noodling around in one area, or you'll wind up with what happened to me when I was working on that eye. In the dark, by artificial light, camera light, good, with a small brush, just in one little area, and it looked great all by itself, but when you looked at the whole thing, it looked like he had a black eye. And that's why I used that pencil, because I did do a bozo no-no. You know, it went too dark at night. And sometimes, you know, watercolor, because water, you know, makes it darker, just like your hair is darker when it's wet, or if you get a plain blouse wet, the part that's wet is darker than the light part. So it's the same with this. This is cotton paper, so the water makes it darker. So sometimes, you know, when you think you might have gone too far, you just let it dry and come back, and it's okay. Not always, so that didn't happen on that eye. All right, thank you so much for watching this. And all the interesting summer sounds. This is, well, this is Friday. I see there's a caterpillar of some sort across the street, you know, a tractor type thing, caterpillar. Looks like a digger. I guess they're going to landscape or something out front now. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, and this is looking pretty darn good, finally. So thanks for bearing with me. You know, it really takes quite a long time to pull it up, but that looks so much like Sam Hugan. Right now, anyway.